Hey guys, thanks for listening to Full Time Hustle. Today we're talking about working when you feel like a failure. There are days and moments while building a business that you just don't feel inspired to work and grow. But today we're sharing some practical tips to help you push through those times. Also, will you do us a favor and give us a review on your podcast app? It helps us tremendously. All right, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy the show.
You're listening to the Full Time Hustle Podcast, an audio resource about life and business. Geared towards the creative entrepreneur, Full Time Hustle is all about sharing time-tested methods and tips about everything small business related. From sales and marketing, all the way to accounting and client interaction, Full Time Hustle covers everything you want to know about how to get things done. Turn your side hustle into a full-time hustle. For more resources, visit us online at fulltimehustle.net. Today's episode is brought to you in part by 17 Hats. 17 Hats is the premier online-based small business management software that does everything from invoicing to books to even keeping track of your contracts. Do what you do best and let 17 Hats do the rest. To get 10% off your first subscription, visit 17hats.com/card/full-time hustle. That's 17hats.com/card/full-time hustle for a free 17-day trial and 10% off your first subscription. Or simply apply the coupon Full-Time Hustle in your account settings. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show. Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Full Time Hustle.
Hi.
I almost called you guys Full Time Hustlers, but that's
Don't call them that.
I can't.
Don't.
I feel like we need a name for our listeners, but
We do. There's actually a Facebook group. It's in the show notes each week, and it's the Full Time Hustle Insiders. Yes.
Nice.
Just so you guys know, that was unplanned.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun, though. Hey, we're talking about something that is near and dear to me today. I'm sure it is to many creatives. It is working when you feel like a failure.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yeah. You ever felt like a failure before?
Of course.
Yeah.
For me, I think I would describe it as more, instead of like a failure, which there definitely are those times, it's more like uninspired. When I just feel uninspired, I'm like,
Sort of feels like formulaic. You're like, this is just the same thing.
I just think like, I'm 31 and I'm going to be working for a long time. Like, like no matter what work I do, I mean, even if I had the chance to retire early, like I think I would still work, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of days ahead of me. And sometimes I'm just like, ooh, I don't want to do that.
I don't know. I like working. I like the idea of working for a very long time. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So we all have times when we're just a little bit down.
Yep.
And we don't want to work. It might be a beautiful day after a lot of snow and rain, and you just don't want to work.
I know for me, when I was finally able to transition to this full time, you get here and you're like, oh, I've arrived. I mean, a little bit, and you have some things to do, and you get those things done, but you're like, oh, I don't want to do this I don't want to do this movie or something, or I don't want to work on this edit I have because I've just got to be inspired. I'm not in that inspired mood. And so, I
that's where you and I differ.
Procrastinate and
I just power through.
Yeah.
So that brings us to
the meat. The meat of what we're talking about. All right, so jump in.
Okay, so I like to push through, and sometimes you do need to just stop. But when it comes to pushing through, the biggest thing that helps me is if I'm not feeling creative, I'm not feeling motivated, I just want to go back to sleep, or I just want to watch TV all day, or do anything other than work, is I work on the concrete things of the business.
Yeah.
There are always, always, always far more concrete things than you would ever want to do. Things like taxes, or making sure your mileage is written up correctly, and
insurance,
making sure, like for us, making sure the correct equipment is on the insurance. And there's 1,000 little things that are always knocking at our door that I don't want to do because they're boring and tedious. And I don't really want to do them because I'm inspired to work and I want to go photograph something new, or I want to create something new. We want to create a podcast. We want to do this or that. I don't really want to add up my mileage from the last month. That's very unfun. But if I'm not feeling motivated, if I just want to be like, blah, then that is a great task for me to do that day, because like I don't have to be inspired to do my mileage. I just have to have a calculator.
Yeah.
And so that is, those are some of the things that I do. For example, this morning I worked on our taxes. Ugh. And we have a tax guy. He does most of it for us. But
We still have to do a lot.
yeah, I mean, we still have to
I
gather.
say we.
We.
Me. She's like, you talking about the mouse in your pocket?
Yeah, I handle the taxes in this family, in this business.
What about email? Are you a serial emailer? I mean, I know the answer to this. I'm just asking on behalf of everyone else.
I don't know what you mean. What is a serial emailer?
So a lot of people in different industries get tons of emails every day, maybe 40 to 50 on the low end or 200 to 300 on the high end. And so there will be important work to get to that needs to be done, creative or not. But got to get those emails. Got to answer those emails. And so they find themselves sort of reading and responding to emails as if they're important because they're in the list.
That is not me.
That's not you. Okay.
No. Yeah, the ones I have a triage system for my email.
Yep.
And this is a little bit off topic, but like new client or current clients.
Yep.
I'm gonna answer those first.
Yeah.
And then other people, like industry, any sort of like industry business thing. You know, if someone's wanting to work with us or collaborate on something, I'll also handle that. If it is anything spammy, then I just delete it. And if it is like a, what do you call them? Mailing list.
Okay. I was like, I can't read your mind.
If it's like a mailing list, like there's a couple that I'm pretty choosy about which ones I do, but the ones that I do subscribe to, I like to read them. That's why I subscribe to them. But it just depends on the day, you know, or sometimes I can tell
I
they're
like
just.
that you call it a triage system. That's brilliant. I've never heard you say that.
I say that all the time.
Of course you do.
I do it in life. Like everything in life for me is, and I feel bad calling it triage because like I think of like hospital, like life-threatening things. But for me, anything like my to-do list during the day,
Yep.
there might be 18 things on it, which is terrible. You don't want a to-do list that long. But I have like my top 3. And the top 3 have to get done no matter what. The other 15 can be done tomorrow, or, you know, they can be tomorrow's top 3 or something. But yeah, like there's the have tos, and then there's the things I should do. And then there's the things that would be good if I did, you know, and it just kind of goes down. But like the have tos, you know, if somebody emails me and is like, hey, are you available on this date for my wedding? That's the most important answer. Also up there, the most important is people who I'm currently working with, you know, who clients have already signed contracts. Like I have to handle them. At the end of the day, like if I don't handle them, I have no business doing anything else because I won't have a business to do.
Right. So you've done your concrete things. You've done email. You've done taxes, mileage, insurance, all that stuff.
And
it's not working.
Well, no, here's the thing about those.
Okay.
You need to have a list of them.
Oh, okay.
Write down a list. Because when you're not feeling creative, you're not feeling motivated, you're also not going to be like, what can I work on?
Sure.
You know, like just have it written down. You can be like, oh, today's a day for that list.
Okay.
And it's just great. It's great to have it there. You don't have to think about it. You can even hate while you're working, but at least you can get it done.
Okay. So you've got all your stuff done. You've gone through the list. You still feel like you're in a funk. That's next?
When you get out.
Get out.
You got to get out. You got to go somewhere. And, you know, if you're a mom or a dad with kids at home, obviously that changes it up. Maybe you can take them to the park or something. I like to go to a coffee shop. I don't drink coffee, but they always sell something else at a coffee shop. They do. They always have chai tea.
Avocado toast.
Ooh, now you're talking my love language. Guys, I'd never had avocado. I can't even say the word.
I was going to say.
Avocado toast. But it is the best of every world. It's really good.
I haven't had it yet. I've not had avocado toast.
You're on your diet.
Yeah, I don't eat toast at this stage of my life. I will again
you
one day.
actually told me, okay, so this avocado toast is like $5 and change.
Yep.
And I'm just going to tell on you.
Yeah, that's
Josh
fine.
is like, oh, I can have the avocado part. I'll just eat that part, not the toast. And I'm like, I'm not paying $5. Like, I'll just get you an avocado at the grocery store, Joker.
That's really funny. So you can go to a coffee shop.
Yeah, like where do you like to go, Josh?
I like Panera. I know that's like the most, I know it's not local. It's not like,
no, but Panera is a really great company. They don't mind if you hang out.
They don't.
And
they've got free Wi-Fi and I can sip their coffee and.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I paid for it. I'm not like freeloading.
Yeah, of course. Another one, I know, what was it last week? While Hazel was in gymnastics, you went to the library.
I did. Mm-hmm. It was awesome.
Yeah, her gymnastics was an hour long, and you got like 50 minutes in the library.
No coffee there, for free or for sale. But I did. It was a very productive time. And here's the thing.
Also, you have to be quiet, so you can't like get distracted.
You have to be quiet. And the places, so they have this area where you can just go work. But if you have a laptop, they have this other area. And really everyone can see what you're working on. And so if you're sitting there and you're taking up space in this public library, you feel like you have to be productive. Like you're not going to be just, scrolling Facebook or whatever in the library. Ideally, I mean,
it's a mind game. It's a very smart mind game. As you feel more comfortable in places, you're more not lazy, but like you're more laid back. That's what I was looking for. And so while you're at Panera, like maybe the first time you're at Panera, you're like, ooh, I'm getting work done. But then about the fifth time, you're like, I'm just going to check Facebook because it feels more like your living room.
Right.
And so switching it up a lot helps too.
Sure.
And it doesn't have to be a place to go work. It can be a place just to get out. Like we live near the beach.
I was going to say, I see that next on the list.
Yes, the beach. You can also
or where we're from. We're in the mountain, or not in the mountains now, but that's where we used to live. That would be a phenomenal place to get work done.
Yeah, to get work done.
Just kind of out in nature, out in the middle of
or to
quiet.
Clear your mind.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, it just shakes things up. And sometimes you just can't work, even no matter what your job is, whether you own a business or not, there's just some days where you need a mental health day.
Yeah.
And I believe in that really big. And so sometimes you just can't power through it. Even with going through, your concrete list and stuff, sometimes you just need to take a little bit off.
Yeah. So, taking a day off, shutting the laptop, cutting your phone off, and just doing whatever it is you need to do to be able to disconnect and recharge is essential. For me, I can't believe I feel so old saying this, but man, just to get a couple extra hours of sleep. I know it seems ridiculous. I don't know if
it's our age so much as it's our children.
It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing.
Well, I started tracking my sleep through my Fitbit.
Yeah.
And, I go to bed at 11 and wake up at 7. And in my mind, that's 8 hours of sleep. Turns out I'm only getting 6.5 during that time because of how much I'm waking up throughout the night, usually related to the kids. And so that was just an eye-opener for me that just because I'm laying in bed for 8 hours doesn't mean that I'm truly getting 8 hours of sleep because, a kid's jumping on my body or I'm having to get up because one of them are screaming or crying or, all of those things affect it.
So this is really unconventional and I hope I can talk about this. If not, you can just
shut
me off. So Susan and I we planned to take some time off the other day. We're going to take some time and we're going to do a day date. We're going to do a day date. And man, we have some plans. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, all these things to have fun, right? Well, this is on Friday.
Yes.
I
had scheduled it out 2 weeks ahead of time because it was in my planner.
Yep.
This is my goal for February. It was back in February and it was my goal.
And two things happened. Let me just tell you, we ended up doing the date. But it's totally different.
Barely.
So two things happened. Number one, Susan got an inquiry that morning to do some real estate stuff.
Yes.
And it was somebody we really wanted to help out. And it was something we could do that wasn't too crazy. And we were just going to bump things back basically an hour.
Yeah. So I'd scheduled our date from 9 to 12 because our problem with dates is that we don't get out and do stuff. We'll, just hang out or we'll go out to eat and it's
go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Grocery shop is not exactly, I kind of like it. I think it's a fun date, but.
Yeah, but it's not
we needed a date.
Yeah, we wanted to date each other and get back to that.
Go to a restaurant, go to a movie.
Yeah, and so we scheduled it from 9 to 12 on a Friday. Kids are in school. It was fine. We didn't even need to get a babysitter. I had to do the pictures. I did that from 9 to 10. So I was like, we'll just do the date from 10 to 1. No problem. And Josh was like, that sounds great.
On top of all that, Zane got the flu earlier in the week. He had some issues Monday. We got him out of school early. He sent him back to school Tuesday late, making sure he could go through. He seemed fine. Came home Tuesday, went to school Wednesday, and didn't make it very long. And they sent him back home. We took him to the doctor. Guess what? He's got the flu. Okay.
So we're not getting work done, which means we're not getting our work done so that we can go on our date.
Right. So he was home, and then we had basically he has a caretaker. She came over on Friday. By that time, I had gotten the flu.
Yeah, and I'm just falling apart because I'm trying to handle everything.
Right.
Instead of the two of us handling.
So what was our day date? Our day date was from maybe 11 to 2.
Oh, no. It was later.
It's like 12 to 3. Are we even that?
It was like 2 to 4.
Okay. And it was in our room, laying down on the bed, watching Netflix, and that's it. And then I think
we watched a Netflix and then we took a nap.
That was our date.
It was the lamest date ever. Like, it's what we needed.
It is what we needed.
But it does not count. It does not count for our date. Also, like, okay, so Zane and his caretaker.
It was what we needed at that time.
I know, but Zane and his caretaker were at the same house. Like, they were here at the house, and we just, like, go to the bedroom and take a nap. Like, I just felt like such a loser.
It is. It's what we needed at that time, and I'm saying it qualifies as a date. We had fun.
Yeah,
we got to connect.
And that's a great example. Like, last week was hard to get any work done. I think we both definitely felt like failures. Like,
I'm still getting over it.
Yeah, like, you kept trying to work and power through, and that's great. But, like, at a certain point, you just have to watch Netflix and take a nap. Okay, sorry, we got off.
No, we're good. So we've tried to do concrete things. We've tried to get out. And we've tried to take time off. Mm-hmm. What's another thing we can do?
This is my favorite.
It's your favorite?
I mean, it's working through your feelings. I love being in touch with my feelings. But so if the general things, if you're not just like, getting out of it and you're, what?
No, I thought I heard the jets again. I was like,
there are jets, but you can't hear them on the podcast. Amazingly.
Okay. Huh.
Guys, it is like a war zone over our house right now. It's amazing. It sounds really cool, but at any rate, so when you get to the point where you've tried to like just shake yourself out of your mood, so to speak, but you just can't, there's probably something bigger going on. And, you need to figure out, like, why do you feel like a failure? Is this something that is, is it just a bad week? Like in our house, if everybody gets sick, it's just a bad week and we're just not getting as much work done. Or is it that, or is it a bigger thing? Sometimes it's a sign of burnout that you need to take a step back for a month or a year or however long. And other times it's just a passing feeling because you're just exhausted. And so I think just really digging in, figuring out, like, hey, I'm not able to just, jog myself out of this. What's really going on, and figuring that out.
I had to work through one recently. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I have to fight this feeling a lot of times that I'm being formulaic with my films. Oh, yeah. And what I have to remember
it's a mind game.
Is that people hire us because they see our films, they like the way they're done. They've obviously seen many of them, and they wouldn't be hiring us if they didn't love them. And they expect, to some degree, a film that's going to be similar to the ones that they've saw. Mm-hmm. And so I have to kind of put that out of my mind and just focus on telling a great story and doing what I'm supposed to do. And I think that isn't just something that's in our industry with photo or video, but it can go to really any other thing. I think with something like if you're a lawyer, if you're an insurance or something like that, there is a very specific way to do things. But the more art you get out of what you do, it's easy to fall in that rut of, it's just a formula. I'm just doing the same thing every time. But people are hiring you because they've seen what you do time and time again, and they want that. And it's important to remember that, hey, this is what they saw that they loved. And This is why that they're hiring you.
Yes, and that the formula actually allows you to work faster and allows you to bring on more clients and allows you to scale your business.
Absolutely.
And so, if every client has to have this personal touch and everything has to be different, then you're really just recreating the client experience every time. A good example is when you're filling out thank you notes.
Right.
If you've ever filled out like 15 at the same time, you're like, thank you for, and you feel like you need to write something different,
Yes.
a different phrasing in every single thank you note. But guess what? They're all going to different houses. And so like at a certain point, they're just going to say a similar thing. Thank you for coming to the party and this and that. And yeah, you want to make it personal, but at the same time, everything can't be totally individual all the time. A formula helps you get things done faster. It helps you, create a workflow that flows things through. And so sometimes when you're working through your feelings, you have to give yourself a break.
Yep. Totally.
All right. So I have homework for everybody.
Okay.
Oh.
I love hate homework.
What'd you say?
I said I love hate homework.
Hate homework?
I said I love hate. I love hate homework.
Oh, you love/hate homework.
Love/hate. I should have put.
I thought you were calling it hate homework. And I was like, well, it's not hateful.
I didn't mean to say it like that.
You're fine.
I was saying like
I think it's my
love
ears
hate.
that are messed up.
I love hate it.
It's a love-hate relationship. Okay, so write down 3 positive things about yourself that you know are true. And so keep those close by. Post them on your computer, the wall behind your computer, put them on the mirror, wherever you need to put them so that you see them all the time and remind yourself that it's not always, that you're not a failure. It's just your feelings at that moment and that you're not always feeling that way, that you have redeeming qualities, that you matter in life. And when you're writing things about yourself, it's just powerful to be like, you know what? I actually am really good at that. And maybe I'm just not inspired to do it today, but I have a track record. I can do this.
That's awesome. Well, listen, this wraps us up on this specific episode, but I just want to say this one thing. If you like what you're hearing, let us know, especially the content. So here's the thing. If you are a regular Full-Time Hustle listener and you've heard what we do, you need to know that 90 to 95% of the content you hear, Susan has come up with. She's very, very good at looking at our business and evaluating things and saying, hey, like, what are things that have been helpful for us and where are the areas that we've learned the most? And she's been able to take this content and organize it in this really beautiful package and put it in a way that for us it's just mega easy to discuss. So if you're like, man, where do they get their content from? First of all, it's stuff we've lived through. Second of all, Susan's a brilliant writer. So just wanted to
throw
that out there. But I'm serious. So anyways, let her know, Susan@FowlerStudios.net. That's her email address. If you'd like to hear us talk about a specific topic, we'd love to address that. And we look forward to sitting and talking with you next time. See ya. Full-Time Hustle is a Fowler Studios production. It's produced and written by Josh and Susan Fowler with help from Joelle and Anklin. Our theme music is composed by Isaac Joel and can be licensed among many other songs at soundstripe.com.